Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our second episode for the year of the BMBA Basketball Podcast, live from my home office here for the BMBA with my best mate JJ. There he is, saying good day before he jumps on his couch, as he always does. Excuse my big pot gut. Up for another weekly episode of the BMBA Podcast. Not much on tonight. Mainly getting on here just to double check if anyone else logs on and they would have some queries, but I will still have a bit of a chat about events that are happening about the BMBA. So last week we got into our first round of training on Friday night, and got to say it was really good to see some new faces. Our numbers are gradually building. We're talking to some investors at the moment, so we keep getting investors biting, but just not quite taking the bait. As soon as we get one on board, we'll be away, because then we can start marketing through social media and things like mailbox marketing and spread the word about the BMBA and the programs we're offering. We've got some unbelievable programs that are great value for money. I'll get that message off. Really have got some enticing concepts for players and parents. For our training, we got Kids First Basketball, which we've got more numbers in this term. And that's just for beginners between 5 and 10 who've never played before. Just because you're those ages doesn't mean you're not in our Basketball Plus programs. We've got a number of kids between 5 and 10 that are in the Basketball Plus program. So on training, we have Kids First, Basketball Plus, then IDP. So the beginners is Kids First. Our Basketball Plus, there's probably 2 or 3 levels in that. We have our introduction level. We then have our advanced level. And then we have that one where you're nearly ready for IDP, but not quite. So, and that all depends on how well you progress through our challenge. This is like the ball handling challenge and the shooting challenge. To progress in our program, you have to achieve certain results to get through there. So then we have the IDP, which is kids who've achieved those results and are really getting their skill levels to what do you call an elite level. So where they can, where we are playing representative basketball or can go on and do even bigger things. That's what we want to be able to do. Or kids that are already playing with rep teams, as we've had a couple over the years, and want to get something extra in developing their skills. So you have your beginners, your intermediate, and your advanced. And in that intermediate stage, we have 2 or 3 levels. Sorry, guys. Oh, my God, what is that guy doing? Sorry. I live right next to the beach, and these guys, it's crazy. They're doing that parasailing thing, where they get on a board and they get out on the beach, and they're coming right onto the beach. I thought they were going to hit a power line there. Crazy. Anyway, and then we got our games programs. For those who aren't aware of our games programs, we're playing them Friday night at the moment, where the kids get. So we have Basketball Plus training plus a game. So we call that Games Plus, and then we have Games IDP games. So that's our IDP training, 2 trainings a week, and our game on a Friday night. And then we have our version of Rep Ball. So our best kids would get together and then go play in the very, very, very strong Dandenong Basketball Association. And to give you an example of how strong it is, we played I can't remember what grade it was, but we played basically the lower level of rep teams in the Eltham Dandenong tournament for under 14s. We did really well. We competed really hard. We should have probably won 3 more games, just missed out on finals. And we're very, very good in the way we went about it. At Dandenong, we're struggling a bit more. The competition's a bit harder. The age groups are a bit higher. They do their competitions at Dandenong in a very unusual way in the summer. So it goes by the cutoff date of December 31st when the year starts. That's last year. So we're effectively playing without knowing it in an under 15 competition. But we're okay to do that, because had we not done that, there was 3 of our boys that wouldn't have been able to play with us. So we've just got to do it tough for a year, and then we get 12 months in that age group, which would be then legitimately under 14s. So at that point, we should do pretty well. So we're actually finding the Dandenong competition is really tough. And we're coming into our new Dandenong season next season for those reps. We've started our now Friday night domestic, and basically they're all BMBA teams at the moment, and we're actually having a lot of fun with it. Our kids are getting shot clocks, they're getting fully timed games. They've only got the one ref at the moment because that's all we need, and that's this grumpy bugger. But we've got some new refs starting to line up over the next 2 to 4 weeks. We've just got to train them up. So that'll be a bit of fun for them and us. And all we're waiting on is if any clubs are listening in on this, we're waiting for teams from other clubs to come and join us, or we're going to form our own teams. As soon as we either have 4 BMBA teams or 4 teams all up, we're starting competitions. And the way we do our competitions, it's all development phase through the term, and we have a playoff tournament at the end of it. So we can accept teams right through the term. So, for example, if we're 5 weeks into the term and you wanted to join up, we can put you in the fixture, and away we go, which should be a lot of fun. We should be able to get a lot more teams in. And the kids should be able to get something different, and then we get to the end of the term, and whoever's playing at the end of the term, then they're the ones that get to play in that playoff tournament. So, it's proving to be a lot of fun. I think our kids are enjoying it. Must be enjoying it. They keep coming back. And we've had some new kids come in. It's a great way to introduce new kids. They come in, they have a training session before the game, and then they just have the game. There's no pressure. We just want them to try things, learn some rules, have a bit of fun, and still play hard and play to win. But there's just less pressure. They can try things without having to worry about whether it's going to affect their ladder position or what their coach might say or anything like that. So they're encouraged to try things. So it makes it a lot different from a normal domestic game, or even in many ways a rep game. Because there's certainly, when it's all about winning in rep ball, and you don't have the opportunities to try things for fear of making a mistake and mucking things up for your team and your coach, your teammates. So in this one, we encourage our kids to make mistakes so they can learn. You can't learn unless you're prepared to make a mistake. And that's what can sometimes hold kids back. So the Friday nights for us is very good. Then we go into the Saturdays at domestic, and we take our best kids from the Saturday Dandenong domestic. We take our best kids and put them in there. So last week we got all that started, and we've got extra numbers coming into the program, which we're really happy about. Our under-12s are going very, very strong, which is great. We're on the verge of forming 2 definitive teams in that competition. Under-14s, we could do with some more numbers, but when we get everyone there, it's fantastic. But we would love to welcome other clubs to join these competitions on a Friday night. So if you are keen on joining, just get in contact with me. I'll type you my email before we get into all the news going on around the club. Bear with me, all thumbs. Here we go. So that's my email there, bob_man@bmba.net.au. Get in contact. We would be loving to welcome more people and more teams. Even if you're an individual who's watching this, don't let that put you off. Get in contact. Come on down to the gym. Come down to the stadium, I should say. Magnificent stadium, air-conditioned, got everything we need. And, more importantly, we've got some good games going on, good concepts, good rules, totally different to what you're used to. So just, for example, on one difference, we stop the clock on every whistle. So we have 4 6-minute quarters, but the kids get a much longer game because the clock stops every whistle. So you might get 2 18-minute halves or even 2 20-minute halves, but even in timeout, subs, the clock just keeps going. So this is a fully timed game, and it takes us around the hour mark. So normally you get 40, 45 minutes, so the kids are getting an extra 15 minutes, and there's no gamesmanship. So once, for example, in the last 2 minutes, if a coach wants to call a timeout, the clock stops. If someone's going to the free throw line, clock stops. There's no running down the clock by doing free throws. I've seen kids who would do up shoelaces or just take a ridiculous amount of time to shoot a free throw. That's not going to impact on your chances of winning a game. Other teams can't do the time delay that they can do in other associations. So, get in contact. Another thing we're looking to do, we need more refs and coaches. We've just recruited a couple. We're going to continue to grow. I've got no doubt about that. So if you're interested in coaching, again, get in contact with me on that email. There it is. Get in contact with me on that email, and we will get you started with training and games. Even when you're in training, you'll get paid. Unlike a lot of associations, for example, with refs, you wear the green shirt, you're good enough to get your stripes. Well, we're not going to do it that way. You're going to get paid. You're going to go out there. You're going to do a job. You're going to be making calls. You're going to probably cop some flack. So if you're going to have all that happening, you deserve to get some dollars for it. You turn up, you get paid. So we are going to do an online stream tomorrow night for people who are interested in coaching and refereeing. If you've got anybody in your family, whether they're a secondary college student, a uni student, someone looking for some part-time cash, someone who just loves the game, get them to send me an email to bob_man@bmba.net, and we would love to talk to them about that. As time goes on, we're going to get bigger. We're going to need more coaches, more refs, and now's a really good time to get involved. So you get the training and get that foot in the door and get ahead of everyone else. So when they start coming to train, you're one of our senior refs that would mentor them, or senior coaches that would mentor others, and then you'd be on a higher wage. So, there's lots of good reasons to be getting involved. And, for example, our higher level teams, we're going to be obviously needing more coaches. So there's plenty of opportunity to get involved with our elite teams, our domestic teams, our refereeing, our coaching, all that sort of thing. It's going to be done far more professionally than in other places. So if you're interested, we're interested in talking to you. So that is happening tomorrow night, 7:30. So just email me. I'll send you a link through. You can join us in that conversation, and away you go. Talking of conversations, if there is anyone watching, don't hesitate to send me a message via our chat, and we'll get that going. Now, let's do a quick summary. I'll share the screen of – got a few quick things to go through. This is just from the weekend for those who may watch. The result from our Dandenong game on the weekend. Unfortunately, we lost. We've been competitive in this division. This Div 1, don't let that fool you. Div 1 is comparable to D1 is comparable to a lot of higher grades in other domestic, and we're still playing under 15, so we're playing giants at the moment compared to us. But the boys compete hard. We're just not playing smart at the moment. We started very slowly, as you'll see in the play-by-play. Here we are we're not 2 there too. So we're 0-4, 0-6. We're down 10-2, 11-2, 12-2. And about here, it took us 10 minutes to get going. And then we started getting back in the game. We held them to that margin that they got out to, but we slowly pegged them back. As you can see here, we've got it down to 8 points, one stage 6. Second half, pretty much the same. We're getting it down to 8, down to 7, down to 5. And at this stage, I was starting to think when we got it down to 5 with 4.5 minutes to go, we could run over them a bit. But the problem is when you're chasing your tail on these sorts of things, you've got to get your nose in front. We couldn't quite do that. And they played a different style of game on us where they actually did a full court press. Most teams in this comp, they don't do that at all. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought there. They will drop back into just a flat 2-1-2 zone. This is the first team to press us. They play a very similar style to what we want, and we hadn't faced that for a while, so we we're a bit lost on our press breaker. Once we got our press breaker going, we were smashing it, but we're just giving away a bit of a too big a lead. Another issue for us is our boys just won't box out and rebound, so we're going to be working that on training this week. Once we start doing those couple of things, we'll start winning. So we're very close to doing quite well, actually, which is probably the hardest part as a coach. So that's our under-14s at Dandenong. So next season we're hoping to have an under-12s and under-14s, and we hope to include a girls team there somewhere in the next 12 months and possibly an under-16 boys team. We'll see how that goes. Depends on the amount of interest. So this week we're playing again 150, St. John's Regional against Roval Rockets. We've played them before. We should have beaten them. Excuse me. But they're another team that just drops into a zone. They don't press or whatever. So I think we'll do pretty – we're capable of – I won't say we'll do pretty well. We're capable of doing well against them. Sadly, though, that we're in a pretty tight fight for – the spots for 4th spot. So there's a Berwick Strikers who we've beaten before. They're in 4th spot. Vales, that's the team that beat us on the weekend. So we missed an opportunity. Had we won that game, we'd be sitting in 4th spot. And I'm a real believer that if we make 4th spot, we can actually win this. But we've got to make it. So there's only 6 teams in the competition. They do, and this is why you shouldn't really take too much notice of the comps at Dandenong. All of them are pretty much 6-team based. So there's not a lot of difference between D1 and C1, for example. And that's pretty much where we're at. And being bottom age, we're probably around in our own age group about A grade. So we'll see how that goes, but we've got a bit of work to do. And that's where we are. So it's not where I'd like us to be. I think we're better than that. But we do know we can beat all these teams above us. The only team that's really got a hold of us was the Ballers, and that similar reason. It was about not boxing out in that game. And when we did start boxing out, we started coming back. We won those last 10 minutes. So all these teams we've had really good minutes against, we've just got to get more consistent on what we're doing. But the boys are acquitting themselves really well. They're learning every week. They're playing against good opposition every week. They're playing with great refereeing every week. So we are hoping next season, which is not that far off, term 2, when we become not predominantly, we'll have 3 or 4 of our boys top age and the rest bottom age. But we should acquit ourselves a lot better. We're not just going to face that sort of standard of height and whatever. And we're hoping to get into A grade next year. We'll see how that goes. But the boys have done very, very well going forward. Let's hope we get a strong finish with that moving forward. So, yeah, that's the way we go there. Now, I do want to just give everyone a heads up about we're going to be launching a fundraiser at the start of next week. Very, very simple fundraiser. It's called a shoot-a-thon, and every single player has to go get 10 sponsors and get them to donate a certain amount for every made free throw. So if we have like 40 players and they all get $1 a free throw and they shoot 100 and they make 50, they just made $50 for the club. If they get 10 of them, they can potentially make $500 for the club. So we're going to do that in 10 weeks' time. We'll get the dates and all that sort of thing coming out. What I am going to do is share with everyone something we've been doing that very unusual for most clubs. I'll just get it up here. Sorry, guys. There we go. The club also runs a share screen. I'm in the wrong screen. Sorry. We also run our own side business. It's a website for marketing local businesses, schools, charities, churches, all that sort of thing. So it's called thecommunityforum.com.au, which you can see up the top. And it also, smart, we actually really promote the BMBA on it. So our little video ad, got to put a few more on there. There's a flyer that we've done, some other stuff. We also do some website and work. We do a lot of feature articles for businesses. So, for example, if we go into here, we've been doing Mentone and Malvern. Malvern, unsurprisingly, because we want to promote ourselves in Stonington, since we're using Stonington Sports Centre. And if I do a click on there, and this is very important for this shoot-a-thon, you will see here we have got so many businesses that we are writing feature article for. So this is all through Malvern and, Mentone, I should say. If I type in, that's not right. Sorry, I'll try that again. Just got to do a search there. Now it'll come up. And these are all our Malvern businesses. Got to find out why that's not coming up in the photos. So they're all here, and you'll see down once we get to the bottom, we've got 8 pages of Malvern businesses. So we're up to a couple of 100. So, if we've got 40 kids and they all get 10 sponsors, that's 400 businesses. We actually probably have enough businesses because not everyone will sign on. But we've already provided these businesses with a service, and we're hoping that our members can walk up Glenferrie Road one Saturday morning or whenever, put your kid in a uniform and go, say, we're looking to get a sponsor for that. You should be able to get, maybe 4 or 5 businesses that will back you. It's not a huge expense for the businesses, but would help raise us some significant funds, which we desperately need to do. So yeah, that's something that will be coming up that I need you all to have a look at for in the next week or two. That's stop sharing. Oh, excuse me. It's been a long day. Another thing we do, I'll just get it up. Sorry. I just want to show you how we market to these businesses. If I can, and I can't. Sorry. Here we go. Sorry, guys, just bear with me for a tick. I just think it's important you have a look at this because I'll be asking you to have a look at it in a few weeks. So I'll share this page again. And here we go. With those businesses that we just showed you that are on our website, we send them this email out. So this is an email that all the businesses would have got last week. And you'll see here, that just is the heading. And we have our feature articles from Mentone. So we started doing this last year. These was where I live, so we started doing all that. Each one of these headings with that link there will take you to a website page, which I'll show you in a minute. So it appears on our website, and as you can see, there is a whole page dedicated to that business. Okay, so that's Parkdale Motoring, and we'll have pictures, pages, all sorts of things, contact details, information, and we do that for every single business. Okay, and that's all off our website. That's all off this email that goes to all these businesses. It goes out to about 1,000 businesses and people within the BMBA. And as you can see, we're promoting BMBA. There's our videos, a bit of a spiel for churches, a little fundraiser, which I get pretty much nothing from. And then we move on to Malvern and all the same thing there. So and more BMBA stuff. So as you can see, we're promoting our services as the community forum. We're giving the BMBA a big plug. So in other words, it's like free advertising. And we're writing articles of goodwill for all the businesses in those areas. We're nearly finished the Mentone Business District, and we're nearly finished, if you know it, the Glen Ferry Road Shopping District, which is enormous. That's massive. So that goes out to businesses every Wednesday or Thursday. And in doing that, we actually have a huge resource for people to go out and approach businesses, recruit sponsors, and help us with this fundraiser. So we're looking forward to getting as many of you involved in that, and that just consolidates our venues and making sure that we've got somewhere to grow into as we get more kids coming in. It also helps get us some funds in to start marketing the BMBA. It's competitions, it's training, everything like that. Get our numbers up. We get our numbers up, everyone wins because we can form more teams, start new competitions, fill these courts, make $1. And everyone will be enjoying live. So that's what we're looking to do in about 12 weeks' time. So it'll be about middle of term 2 in April. So we'll be working up this week, and you'll all be getting it next week. And, yeah, we're going to have a bit of fun with that. And with all those businesses we've got on board, I'm going to be sending an email out to all of them next week about trying to get some donations for some prizes for the kids who raise the most money for the shoot-a-thon. Like I said, should be fun. So, yeah, that's it. I haven't got anyone else with questions. We'll keep them, like I say, very, very short, these podcasts, unless we get a special guest on or unless we've got something very, very special happening. But that'll do us for tonight. I've only got me on there. I don't think we got anyone on there, but we will distribute this amongst you. If you are another club that's interested, we are so keen to get some more teams into our competitions. Just be wary. Once we are trying to get investors on board, do the fundraising. Once we get that and we do our marketing, and as soon as we have 32 kids in an age group, say, let's say on the boys' side, that's enough to form 4 teams. We're forming 4 teams, and bang, we'll go in our competition. If we get those teams going in under 12s, 14s, and 16s over the next 12 months, and on boys and girls, there'll be no space. We don't have huge volumes of space yet at Stonington. That is one other thing. We are forming an association this week. So if anybody wants to get involved in that, let me know. I'll give you more details about that next week. We need to do that to make sure we can grow the club and grow it into further court space. But space will be limited, as it always is with basketball. And the more we grow it, we're happy to have, for example, an under 14 6 BMBA teams playing against each other. That doesn't bother us at all. We used to do that at Oakley when we were operating at a GSAC, and it worked beautifully. It was really, really good. There was none of the politics you normally get with, when you've got a dozen clubs fighting against each other. And everyone got on well. We all knew where we were going. We all had the same goals and ambitions for the kids. And we all bought into different bylaws and everything. Everything just worked beautifully. Our coaches were great. We recruited them from our player resources. Same with our reps. So everything was really good. It was a real family club. So if we get that, we're not going to be concerned. Having said all that, if you're part of a club and you want to enjoy the features of longer court time, shot clocks, air-conditioned venue, new competition structures and features, get in contact with me now, and we would warmly welcome you with open arms. All I'm saying is the longer you leave it, the less chance you're going to be able to have maybe of joining it with all the teams you would like. First in will be best dressed. So whether that's us or whether that's 1 or 2 other clubs, first in will be best dressed. Once we're full, we're full. So I would suggest have a real serious look. It's also a great way if you've got kids in domestic, and especially if they've been cut from rep ball or missed out on a rep team, it's a great way for the kids to get a second game on a Friday night. Get, like I said, the longer court time, better development. That we believe once we get up enough teams for a comp, the kids will actually love this type of basketball far more than what they've had before. So, yeah. Anyway, get in contact. I'll give you one more look at my email. Shoot me through an email. And if you're a club, I'm happy to come out, have a coffee with you, talk to you about it, take you through the information, walk you all through it, and we'll be away. So anyway, one motto for our club, strength, honour, unity. I'll sign off with that. And we actually, what do we say? Strength, honour, unity, warriors. So we'll see everybody next Monday, 7 o'clock. If you've got any questions from this or anything at all to do with the BMBA, don't hesitate to send them through to that email.